to another exciting episode of Trails to Azure. We're still in day 2 of chapter 3. We have completed half of the request, so we're gonna finish the last remaining 2, and I'm gonna keep the best for last because I am kind of invested on that story. So we're gonna do the package Pandemonium first. Excuse me, are you with the Capua delivery service? Yes, I am. Who are you guys? We're with the special support section for the Crossbell police. We came to speak with you about the support request you submitted. So it is you. Thanks a bunch. I'm in a real bind here. The job's going to take a while to complete though. Are you ready to start now? Except, of course, you can count on us. The request was about some misdelivered packages, right? Yep, and boy were they misdelivered. See, our company delivered parcels to place all over the continent, but unfortunately we made an error while we were here in Crossbell. Several packages were listed with incorrect addresses by our staff and sent to the wrong locations. That sounds like a big problem. How does such mistake happen to multiple packages at once? Well, our president's a little bit of a scatterbrain, to put it nicely. Ooh, I know that. I know who the president is. It's actually, I believe, a character that appears in Trails in the Sky. This isn't the first time something like this has happened either. One time, he even mixed up a shipping label and a letter from a friend. Wow, it doesn't sound like your president's the most meticulous person out there. I won't deny it, but he's a good man. When we had nowhere to go, he took us in with open arms. Sorry, I got off topic here. Long story short, I need you to help straighten out all the packages that end up at wrong addresses. We usually have a local shipping company handle the cargo once it gets to Crossbell State, so I have no idea where I was going. Sounds simple enough. Do you happen to have a beat on where all those errands deliveries are? Yes, according to what I have here, a parcel intended for St. Ursula Hospital ended up at Mainz der Ziegel Inn. What St. Ursula received instead was originally bound for a private home in the residential district. I would like for you to go to each of those places, reclaim the misdelivered packages, and get them to the rightful recipients. Oh, you're also going to need these. I see. Is this the package that was supposed to go to Der Ziegel? And the shipping label was supposed to be attached to the one that was delivered to St. Ursula. That's right. So first off, deliver this little parcel to Der Ziegel Inn. Then the package there should go to St. Ursula Hospital, which means you'll have to swap them with the more I try to sort this out in my head, the more confusing it gets. Basically, we just need to exchange and re-deliver the packages in order. Yes, do that. Sorry, I know this is a mess, but I'm counting on your help. Don't worry, I think we can handle it. Let's start by going to Der Ziegel Inn. This is gonna be a pain in the ass, isn't it? Not really, we have cars, so it's not too much of a problem. Oh god damn it. We're still outside of the city. That's dumb. Go to the garage. Go to Mainz village. Go to the inn. Hey, if it isn't the kid from the police, you are looking to book a room with us? No, I'm looking for the food you promised us. We came to ask about a case we're working on. Have you received any strange packages recently by any chance? Strange packages? Oh, as a matter of fact, the most peculiar delivery came in earlier. Why anyone thought to send it to us, I couldn't even begin to guess. Do you happen to know something about it? Well, actually, oh, that's right. While I was exploring St. Ursula, there was a talk about a strange box filled with dolls. Oh, so that's what happened. So the package we received was supposed to go to St. Ursula then. No wonder it was chock full of scalpels and such. I can only imagine how disconcerting it was when they suddenly arrived. You don't know the half of it. Luca got so spooked she was hell-bent on throwing them out into the trash tomorrow. It's a good thing we made it in time. Here, let me give you the package you were supposed to receive. Thank you very much. Now let's have a look-see. Yep, these are the Liberalian drinking glasses I ordered a while back. I'm positive this package is ours. Glad to be of service. Now then, could we please have the package that was misdelivered to you? Of course, give me just a moment. Here you are. I trust you'll get that to the hospital where it should be. Thanks, we will. Alright, let's drop by St. Ursula Hospital next. We should inquire at the reception desk. I could only imagine, ma'am. Sorry for the trouble. Saint Ursula we go.
あ、乗りますか？どこに行きますか？お安いご用です。
Oh my goodness, from north to south.
はい、到着しました。
Should we just talk to the guy? Or should we go to the receptionist? I'll try going here first. Because this is the guy who told me about the misdelivery. Okay, maybe not. Let's go to the receptionist. Or maybe this lady. Oh, that's right. The Ziegel is not the one who with the cooking. It's this guy. Oh, my bad, my bad. The Ziegel in gave us the stamina steak. Welcome back to St. Ursula Hospital, SSS. What can we do for you today? About that, Sarah, there's something we need to ask you. It concerns one of our requests. Oh, so that's what the package was. Our nurse admin Martha was racking her brain over it. She thought maybe a nurse made a mistake with the purchase. Oh, that's right! That's right! A mistake, you say? Yes, it happens. One of our clumsier nurses has done something to their effect in the past. Multiple times, in fact. Yeah, she did get scolded for it. So does that mean the package is currently at the nurse's station? Yes, it should be. Feel free to go to the second floor and have a look yourself. It really makes your heart go out to the poor nurse who falsely accused Nurse Sarone. Honestly, Sarone, you should be old enough to know better than this. Why is it that you can't even place a simple order without making this mistake? No, there's gotta be some other explanation. Just ask Meifa, she even watched me put the order together. I mean, sure, it took me 20 tries before I got the numbers right, but we did it eventually. The things Meifa has to put up with. You're lucky she's so fond of you. Pardon us, did something happen? Oh, hello SSS. Sarone here was tasked with placing an order for medical supplies, but we're run into a problem of sorts. The package that arrived didn't have any supplies. Instead, it has some sort of worn out dolls inside, gotta know why. Mind you, this isn't Sarone's first offense. Earlier this year, she botched an order of bedsheets. I remember that. Oh, come on, why won't you believe me? I'm telling you, I know I got it right. Lloyd, are you thinking the same as I am? Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. What are you two referring to? Well, we might know a thing or two about what happened here. A misdelivery, so the package we received was never meant for us to begin with? That's right, we're currently in the middle of sorting it all out. Would this happen to be the package you were expecting? It appears so. These are the medical tools I placed an order for. Thank you for coming all this way to deliver them to us, SSS. I suppose I owe you apologies, Ron. I hope you can forgive me. I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions like that. Oh, it's all water under the bridge now. As long as you're not still mad at me. Oh, I almost forgot. They should have put it somewhere in here. Ah, there it is. My new Kagemaru strap. Since we were already placing an order, I figured I might as well add this to the package too. Isn't he just adorable? So perhaps we're going to need to have another talk after all. Sorry to interrupt, but if you wouldn't mind, could we take the package you received by mistake? We'll make sure it gets to the right person. Why, of course, give me just a moment. Ah, there it is. Be careful with it now. Thanks, we'll take care of it from here. Let's see, according to the shipping label that Aaron gave us, this package was meant for a private address in a residential district. Now all we have to do is deliver it, and the request will be complete. The residential district? It must be one of the homes near Speaker McDowell's then. Do you recognize this address, Ellie? Let me take a closer look. I think I do, but this address, if I'm not mistaken, is the empty house to the right of the Representative Campbell's. Wait, isn't that house people kept saying was haunted 10 years back? Yes, that's the one. The hell? Then what's going on? Is it possible someone moved in recently? I couldn't really say for sure. Let's deliver this package. Thank you for doing all. Okay. My goodness, you would think I'll used to keeping an eye on surrounding by now, but it never gets any easier. Bye.
Yoshi, どこに行こうかな。さあ、行くぞ。よし、着いたぞ。
Oh god. It's this one? This is definitely the address. You're right, but the place doesn't exactly feel lived in, you know what I mean? Did someone mess up? Maybe the sender wrote down the wrong address? It's possible. Even if they did, the delivery slip doesn't actually list a recipient, only a destination. Either way, we aren't going to find out anything for sure unless we ask. What's wrong, Tio? Nothing. Hold on, look. It's open. It was a little ajar, so I thought it might be. Well, we may as well show ourselves in and see if someone really did order this. Ooh, I see car. Excuse us, is anyone home? What did I tell you? No one lives here. But this is definitely the address listed on the delivery slip. The front entrance wasn't locked either. Who are you? Who is this girl? Huh? A girl? Oh, excuse us, little girl. Are you the only one home? We're here to deliver a package and... Oh, you mean she's finally here? Don't just stand there. Come in. The kid was so excited she didn't even let you finish. Looks to me like we found our recipient. She's clearly expecting a delivery after all. That's odd though. If there really was a little girl living here, I'm sure I would have heard of it. Don't know what to tell you, but you met the squirt 10 seconds ago, same as the rest of us did. Just what the hell's going on here? I wish I had a good answer for that. But for now, let's follow her in and see where that leads. Maybe she can give us a better idea of what the story this place is. Well, here's the package you ordered, I think. Yay, she's finally come home. Upsy daisy. That one raggedy... That looks exactly like her. I think it's one of those famous antique, you know, from the Rosenberg studio? I don't think so, it doesn't look very expensive to me. So this doll, did it used to be one of yours, maybe? She's not an it. She's my beloved little sister. Isn't she just adorable? Is she now? Well, thank goodness we were able to reunite the two of you then. Thank you everyone. Now if you don't mind, I'm going to take her back to our bedroom. Am I the only one who feels completely lost about this? It doesn't seem like anyone else is home either, no parents or anything. What's wrong, Tio? Nothing, it was only my imagination, I think. Hey, who's in there? Someone's at the front door now. Another guest, perhaps? Her parents don't seem to be home, so maybe you should answer for her. Imelda? Well, if it isn't the SSS one, what are you doing in a place like this? Well, we came on a police business. What brings you all the way out of here to your antique shop? Police business? What the devil for? This house has been completely abandoned for over a decade. As for what I'm doing here, I've been using this building as a warehouse for my merchandise for some time now. What's the matter? You look as if you saw a ghost. What's the big idea here? Even if Imelda's telling the truth about using the place for storage space, how do you explain the creepy little girl we just handed the doll to? Good question. We could always ask her ourselves. I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. I'm sure she went into that back door just past the living room. What, are your ears screwed on right? I just told you no one lives here. What? Where did that little girl go? Think she's hiding somewhere? Lloyd, look at those, huh? Yo. Dolls, I recognize the one we just delivered, but the other one, it looks just like the girl we spoke to. I think a lot of you owe me an explanation here, wouldn't you say? Now spill it. Or would you rather arrest yourself for trespassing? I don't think that's how it works, but I'll try to explain. Yeah, I see. Turns out what he said had a grain of truth in it after all. What are you talking about? I purchased one of those two dolls while traveling abroad many years back. They were said to have been crafted to resemble the daughters of a noble family from long ago. They were a set of twins, so two dolls were made. Unfortunately, I was only able to get my hands on one of them. There's nothing wrong with the doll per se, but strangely, I could never convince anyone to even consider buying it. What does the last part have to do with anything? For a detective, you're astonishingly dim. The point is, you were made to deliver a second doll, whereupon you came across a mysterious girl who resembles the first. What I'm saying is perhaps that doll came to life and summoned her twin to her, no? That's ridiculous. A certain man has always insisted to me that every doll has its own destiny. Perhaps that old Foggy was on something this whole time. Every doll has its own destiny. I do remember Meister York saying something along those lines. Are you telling us that the girl we spoke to was the ghost of this doll? I refuse to believe it. The veracity of that claim aside, there is a substantial concentration of spiritual energy in this building. I can sense the presence of the three higher elements too, the way I could at the Moon Temple and Stargazer Tower. In other words, what we witnessed may have been a spiritual phenomenon of sorts. A spiritual phenomenon? That would explain the hair standing up the back of my neck. Man, this would be a hell of a lot easier if we were just all hallucinating. But if Teotot said there's something to it, I'm not gonna tell her otherwise. You're kidding, right? I don't want to believe any of this. My, but it's fun to watch you all shiver and tremble yourself silly. At the end of the day, whether or not you put any stock into the blathering of that reclusive doll fantasy is up to you. But one thing is for certain, and that is, now that those sisters are reunited, they can finally find a proper home, by which I mean a prospective buyer, and that's good news for my bottom line. It's always about the money, huh, old bag? Anyway, now rest up this request, I think. Let's go back and report to that Capua delivery service employee. Hey, it looks like you managed to get all the packages where they needed to go. You guys are lifesavers, thanks. Special support section? It was no problem. So, not that it has any of my business, but is she okay? Her face is kind of pale. It couldn't have been. We didn't talk to her. I guess she's a little bit haunted by the experience. I don't blame her. Give her some time and she'll be fine. Yeah, don't worry about it too much. If you say so. Anyway, I best be going now. Wait, I need to go back. Oh, god damn it. I need that car paint. Aha. Deep paint work. Oh, tender loving car. Right. Coincidentally, our last but not least support request is in residential area. Excuse us, you put in a request for the special support section? Oh, hello there, SSS. I can't tell you how glad I am that you're here to help with this again. Yes, thank you very much for coming. Can you tell us what happened since yesterday, Chief Dolta? I understand there was a new development in the case. Yes, that's correct. I fear the situation is more dire than we originally thought. I would like to discuss it in depth with you or right away. Would that be alright? Okay. Right now it's fine, please fill us in on the details. You mentioned that the situation has changed since yesterday? That it has. Yesterday evening, I went to the Ash Tree Inn and in another attempt to persuade Derek. I told him that Minnith character was far too suspicious and that he had to break ties with him. You didn't beat around the bush then, huh? Not for a second, but in the end Derek still refused to listen. However, I did learn something new. And so I hurried here to discuss the matter with Mr. Hayward. Something new? Has Minnith taken some sort of auction? What you've told caught me off guard, if I may be frank. Minnith's grip on the village is far tighter than we had given it credit for. Would you mind elaborating? From what we learned yesterday, several villagers already trust him. Has it gone further than that? Well, you see, Minnith has not only secured the private property on Old Amorica Road, but also the deeds to numerous plots and fields in the village itself. He what? As shocking as that is, one question comes to mind. How was he able to pull off something that big? Good question. From what we know, Minnith pitched a plan to increase Amorica's lotus production, lotus production, as he puts it, by slowly accumulating deeds to the villagers' farmlands. He could expand the lotus fields and streamline their harvests. Moreover, management of the plots themselves would be contracted to the Quincy Company to reduce the required labor. That does line up with what we heard yesterday. At first blush, it sounds like a pretty good deal for the villagers. Yeah, too good to be true. As long as those deeds are in Minnith's hand, he can abuse the land in any way he wants. There'll be no coming back from that. Indeed, the man cannot be trusted by any means. Had he solely focused on that private property of ours, even the worst case scenario wouldn't be too terrible. But now that he's using plots of land within the village, the results could be catastrophic. You guys might be shit out of luck when it comes to breaking that contract though. That's where you come in. If you can expose him, then perhaps the contract can be voided. I know there's nothing criminal happening on the surface here, but even still, can we ask you to look into this? Well, the SSS has never actually been all that beholden to CPD protocol. Our job is to support the citizens when they request it. You've given us enough reason to find Minnith suspicious, so we'll gladly help. Thank you, Detective Bennings. All of you have been our village guardian's angel. Where should we begin the investigation? I'm a bit lost in that myself. Me too, it's not as if we have any smoking guns to look into. True. In that case, why not ask Ian for assistance? Mr. Grimswood. Yes, granted, we're only working off our suspicion at the moment, but if you explain the situation to Ian, he may be able to find a trace of something illicit in Minnith's action. That sounds like a good idea. Even a shred of evidence against Minnith would be a good starting point for the investigation. I should warn you though, Ian's been incredibly busy ever since the mayor advocated for our independence. There's no guarantee he'll have the time used to see you. Only one way to find out, off to the Greenwood Law Office. Maybe we'll catch him, maybe we won't. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, let's go pay him a visit. Will this be the last though? Oh, he's here. Oh, Mr. Grimwood, we are afraid you might have been out of your office. Yes, I was just in the middle of taking a much needed break, but it seems you're in desperate need of my counsel. Is it really that obvious? I've seen those looks on your faces coming through my door countless times by now. Please take a seat. I might be busy, but I'm happy to lend you an ear. Our apologies and thank you. I see. This is quite a predicament the village has found itself in. A case such as this would typically be a top priority for me, but as you know, I've been busy with this past week drafting up preliminary constitution for the mayor. I apologize, but I won't have the time to handle this case personally. That's unfortunate, but we understand. We suspected that would be the case. Still, even just a consultation would be helpful. Very well, I'll give you any advice I can while you're here. We appreciate it, Mr. Greenwood. So, do you have any insight from this? At this point, there's no evidence of Minnith engaging in any unlawful activity, at least as far as we can tell. Is there something we're missing? I do have one idea. Damn, already? Possibly, an Erebonian contact of mine once provided me with some reference material for a very similar case, though I cannot say the circumstances are an exact match. Any lead that could help us with the investigation is a good one. If you think this other case is worth mentioning, we would be happy to hear about it. Very well, I can hardly refuse you all. From what I can recall, several years ago, a man visited the estate of an Erebonian baron. He introduced himself as Rittner, an enterprising businessman working for a famous brewing company. Rittner presented the baron with an opportunity to become rich beyond his wildest dreams, and quickly at that, he proposed that the baron's barley fields, which had been passed down to family for generations, be used to establish a brewery. The facilities would be constructed on the barony, and his family would be responsible for managing them. That was the idea anyway. Hold on a second. What you're telling us is awfully reminiscent of what's going down in Armorica. The Baron accepted the deal and signed Rittner's contract. Then, under the pretense of constructing the brewery, the fields and a portion of the Baron's land were temporarily transferred to Rittner. Moreover, the Baron converted his assets into capital for the sake of getting the business off the ground. However, Rittner soon disappeared with both the deeds and the capital, never to be seen again. The hell? The Baron and his family panicked after suddenly losing contact with Rittner. At the time, they had no idea of the gravity of what was about to unfold. To their shock and surprise, they learned Rittner had sold the deeds to a third party. The land was to be repurposed into a villa resort. Today, it stands as part of a suburb instead. In the end, the Baron's family racked up a substantial debt. Before long, they had lost their entire territory. With that, the family was stripped of their ring and they vanished without a trace. They're awfully similar. I might know who they're referencing it. Damn, that's one hell of a story. That man conned them into giving up their property and sold it right under their noses. Who would even do such a thing? Your investigation immediately reminded me of that case. One person lies to earn another's trust before running off with a large fortune. It's a common strategy for committing fraud. Fraud? If this case is the same, then Minnith may not be Quincy Company employee at all. It would simply be a con man trying to swindle Armorica for all they're worth. Precisely, I cannot say for certain that's the case here, but I'm concerned it might be. I agree, there are too many parallels between that story in our case. It'll be best if I shifted our focus to investigating this as a potential act of fraud. That changes the kinds of leads we should be looking into. Exactly, as far as Minnith goes, there are two major areas that stands out to me as suspicious. First, that plan of his. We need to find out whether or not he's actually done anything to establish this Armorican honey company. We could probably figure that out by following the Mira trail. You have to apply for a bank loan to open a business in Crossbell. If it's all a sham, then we'll find the evidence we need at the IBC. The other point of concern is whether Minnith's actually an employee of Quincy Company. The Quincy Company's headquarters aren't in Crossbell though, so that will be a little tougher to ferret out. I may be able to help with that. We should try stopping by my grandfather's home. The McDowell estate, why? There should be a brochure about the Quincy Company there. It outlines how the company operates. We may be able to find some useful information. What's something like that doing in your Gram's pad, Mademoiselle? Well, because I happen to enjoy making sweets, alright? I once took an interest in the Quincy Company, so I ordered one of their brochures. As I recall, it was on a shelf in my old bedroom. Then again, I doubt a simple brochure would have all the information we need. I wouldn't be so quick to discount the possibility. It's official Quincy Company material. You might be able to find something that conflicts with what Minnith said. It never hurts to cover all your bases. Agreed, let's drop by the McDowell estate too, and see how it pans out. Thanks for all the invaluable advice, Mr. Grimwood. Because of you, we finally have some leads to chase down. Always happy to be of service. Just to confirm, you said you were using the Hayward residence as a base of operation, yes? Yeah, we are. Very well then, I'll lend you my help with the case for as long as time permits me. Though unfortunately, I cannot make any promises given my other responsibilities. That's not a problem at all. You've already helped us immensely. It's nice having professionals in the neighborhood we can lean on. I'll try to meet up with you at the Haywards later. Good luck with your investigation until then. Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. Okay, let's get this investigation underway. Can we go to the McDowell first? Because that seems closer. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's there. So Ellie's room is this one? It's this one. Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is the Quincy Company brochure I mentioned earlier. Then they even have this sucker bound. Can't say they didn't put any effort into the thing. They have ample resources to do so, considering the size of the company. Whatever is written inside should be sufficiently credible. Then it's a good thing we stopped by for it. Alright, let's take a closer look inside. As the leader in confectionery manufacturing, the Quincy Company strives tirelessly toward its next innovation. This brochure aims to briefly introduce the methods and creeds that drive our passion. We believe the key aspect of any confectionery is its taste. Otherwise, how could anyone enjoy it? With this belief as a core tenet, the Quincy Company refuses to compromise on the quality of its products. Our factories are fitted with the latest equipment and operated with the utmost attention to hygiene. Here at the Quincy Company, we are particular not just about the quality of our ingredients, but where they are sourced as well. Our product development pipeline too is run with the strictest of standards. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives, who after many meetings decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Only then can they reach the production line. This has been a Quincy Company tradition since its founding, such that we may deliver our valuable customers nothing less than the finest confectionaries to enjoy. It is this commitment to excellence that has made the Quincy Company the exceptional confectioner it is today. I'm not sure what we were expecting. This is all just your typical corporate double talk. Did anybody manage to find a contradiction between this and something Minnith has said? Not in particular. Maybe coming here for this brochure was a waste of time after all. Actually, I did notice something. You did? Oh, I get it. You just activated the old detective mode and bam, right? Well, don't leave us hanging. What did you find? If you remember what Minnith told us at the hotel yesterday, the answer is obvious. It was only a passing remark, but it still comes into a major conflict with what's written in the brochure, enough to prove that he isn't in fact an employee of the Quincy Company to begin with. You got that much out of this one little pamphlet? That's right, you see, if Minnith, sorry to cut you off, but what's the fun in spoiling it all now? What are you talking about? Well, if I'm being honest, it's annoying that you're the only one to figure it out, so why not give the rest of us a chance and save it for when we interrogate Minnith? Wazy, this is an investigation, not some game. I agree with Wazy actually. Your hypothesis might not be accurate after all. As a precaution, we shouldn't let ourselves be swayed by a mere hunch. Not to mention, I don't appreciate you stealing the spotlight with your detective mode, as Randy put it. Why do I get the feeling that second comment was a real reason she doesn't want me to share? Fine, if you two insist. Instead, I want you all to consider everything we've learned so far. I'll summarize the main points of the brochure in the detective notebook. All that's left is for us to fish at the IBC. Let's see what we can find out there. Quincy executives sample product prototypes and decide whether they are worthy of being brought to market. Are you telling me that he is not an executive? Is that it? Or that they never sample? Oh yeah, they never sample the sweets, isn't it? IBC. Can we get that data though? Hello again, SSS. What can I do for you today? Well, we'd like to ask for the IBC's cooperation with the investigation we're working on. Would it be possible for you to do an account search for us, Landway? We're hoping to look into some suspicious Mira transfer from a certain depositor. You want me to pull up private information on one of our clients then? Doing so within a company policy. Doing so is within company policy if it's related to a criminal inquiry, but would you mind telling me the details of the situation first? Not a problem. I see, I believe I understand the circumstances now. Will this be sufficiently probable cause for us to conduct a search? Cracking down on these kinds of things is in the bank's best interest too. Fraud will damage your reputation. You are correct, and this is related to a legitimate investigation. I can help, but you'll have to settle for me simply telling you what I can pull up on my internal screen here. That's more than enough, if you would, please. Very well. First, let me search for an account registered under the name Minnith. A Morgan Honey Company, subsidiary of the Quincy Company. There we are. We do indeed have an account open under that name. Hold on. What happened? Did you find something incriminating? Well, I don't have the authority to tell you the exact balance on record, but I will say that the Morgan Honey Company has no more than the minimum deposit in its account. What exactly does that mean? Basically, corporate accounts require an initial sum of capital to open. In this case, that base amount is all there is. From what you've told me, that would leave tens of thousands of mira unaccounted for. Minnith has the construction of the factory, management of the fields, and more to cover. It is simply impossible for any minimum deposit to be capable of financing all of it. That much is clear. And despite him holding the titles to the land and signing several deals, the balance hasn't changed a single time. It's suspicious to say the very least. By which I mean this account appears to have been made for the sole purpose of gaining Derek's trust. Things clearly aren't adding up here in more ways than one. Yeah, this is just the kind of evidence we needed. We appreciate your cooperation, Lanfei. Not at all, I'm glad I could be of assistance. Should you ever require anything more, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll keep that in mind. Hayward residence. Ah, it's the SSS. There you all are. Mr. Grimwood, I'm glad you could make it. Did you just get back yourself, Mr. Hayward? Yes, I finished asking my business associates about the matter at hand. How did things go on your end? We were able to round up a few leads thanks to Mr. Grimwood. How about you, Mr. Hayward? I did just the same, in a manner of speaking. You see, I'm not quite sure what to make of it all. Well, you went through the trouble of digging up that info, so you may as well share the rest of the class. Agreed, the information may be beneficial to our investigation. I suppose you're right. I asked my business associates if the name Minnith rang any bells, having never heard it myself. What they informed me is that he's been making inquiries into a certain market since arriving in Crossbell. And what market could that be? Land prices in various locations throughout Crossbell. Land prices? He sounds more like a real estate agent at this point. Why would the Quincy Company employee even need that kind of information? The answer to that just might be instrumental in helping us figure out Minnith's true objective here. You think so? It's certainly something worth considering. Incidentally, I may have discovered something else of note since we last saw one another. Huh? Harold, Chief Dolta, couldn't ask you to help me find something in my office? At your office, Ian. I don't mind, but is it important? Well, it isn't substantial enough to prove anything in of itself. But we may be able to use it as a final nail in the coffin once you place Minnith down. You really got something like that on your sleeve, Grizzly Grim? Possibly, but we may not make it in time, so please, don't wait for us. You ought to get to Armorga village as quickly as you can. If Minnith is the criminal we think he is, then his plan could very well be in the final stage as we speak. I'm confident, however, that the evidence you have on hand will be enough for you to solve the case. Best of luck, SSS. Got it, thanks Mr. Grimwood. Okay guys, off to Armorga village. It's time to reveal Minnith's true colors and stop his phony deals dead in their tracks. Right. I leave my son in your hand. Please do what you can to save Derek. Okay. Gotcha.
どうしますか？
よーし、やるか。
Is this it?
いい感じかな。
目的地を選んでお安いご用です。はい、到着しました。
Oh my god, you fool! Where is he? they already closed the deal? You six again. The special support section. Derek, Minnith, we have a few things we'd like to ask. What kind of agreements were you hoping to conduct today? Meddling in my affairs on my father's behalf again, are you? Please, Derek, there's no harm in answering their questions. After all, our plans has already been set into motion. And what do you mean by that? Right before you all arrived, Derek and I finished signing the requisite paperwork. In doing so, we have arranged to expand the operations of the Lotus Fields lent to me by the villagers. The Quincy Company will then take over the management of the fields. What? You sign away the rights to almost all of the village's agriculture? Is this really what you want, Derek? What are you talking about? Nothing is changing. I'm only transferring management to the fields to him. Yes, of course, it's quite simple, really. With my company harvesting the honey, we'll be able to streamline production of the candy. The temporary transfer of the land's rights to my company is a necessary first step to facilitate the process. What a crafty bastard. His scheme has reached its final phase, which means... Now then, Derek, I'll be delivering this contract to our main office. We'll be in touch come tomorrow. Look forward for good news. Sounds great. I'll be waiting. Lloyd, we can't let him get away. Before you go, Minnith, we have a few more questions. Oh? And what might they be? Well, for starters, are you aware of the allegations leveled against you? The primary of which, of course, is suspicion of fraud? What? That's absurd. How dare you insult Minnith like that? Now, Derek, please calm yourself. Minnith? The special support section, was it? What could possibly make you suspect me of being a common criminal? Surely you have some manner of proof of your claim. That we do. Intriguing. Why don't you tell me about it then? But first, let me remind you that I am an imperial citizen. If it turns out that your allegations are indeed entirely baseless, I will do what I must not to right that indignity, police officers though you may be. That's fine with us. Lloyd, don't worry, Ellie, let me handle this. Based on our investigation, there's no doubt in my mind that Minnith is guilty. I'm going to expose him as the fraud he is and show Derek the truth. How very glib. If that's how you want to play this, then go right ahead. I'll answer anything you like. Well, your first question? Right. About your action in Crossbell. There's a contradiction between what you said and what you've done. Could you please recount your actions for me? A contradiction? Very well, since arriving in Crossbell, I've been cooperating with Derek to advance our plans. That plan will result in the formation of the Armorican Honey Company, a subsidiary of the Quincy Company. It will specialize in producing candy made from Armorica's high-quality honey. Combined with my company's acumen, it is a surefire success. Ah, that's the contradiction. They always test it first before they go to production. The venture has already been approved by the city and it's just about to prepare to launch. Tell me, what is so contradictory about that? Well, everything. This plan is more like a charade from where I'm standing. Our investigation has uncovered a key discrepancy in what you just said. You see, Minnith, his confectionery acumen, that the plan is underway. This one? The record we look into at the IBC reveal your mistake. You say this plan is prepared to launch? In reality, it hasn't actually made any progress at all. The IBC? What are you talking about? Consider this, if the Quincy Company truly did intend to go through with this plan in Crossbell, it would need a loan from the IBC to fund the construction and development of the subsidiary. Well, yes, of course. I registered the company with the city and opened a corporate account. But that's as far as it went, isn't it? The account for the Armorican Honey Company contained no more than the minimum balance required to open it. While we weren't told the exact amount, I would speculate it's only in the tens of thousands of mira. Just how are you planning to build a factory and run a business with so little starting capital? You look into my IBC account? This can't be true, can it, Minnith? Please don't misunderstand, Derek. I never said there was any credence to their claims. I'm merely commenting on the audacity it takes to do something so invasive. Forget that, explain why there's hardly any mira in the account. Being an executive of the company, I must be especially judicious when moving money around. As such, I cannot take out a loan on behalf of the Quincy Company. Of course, I will be securing one from the IBC once I receive permission from the main office. Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. A death evasion. Don't count us just yet, I can tell Minnith's getting frustrated. If we continue to press him and pile on the evidence, we can get him to crack. That look on your face tells me that you have something more to ask. It's just so happened that I do. That was far from our only point of contention about you, Minnith. You're still not satisfied? Don't let them rattle you, Derek. This will be a good opportunity for me to clear your mind of any and all doubt. Next, I would like to ask about you, Minnith. You said that you're an executive at the Quincy company. But is that really true? Wait, what are you implying? Are you trying to say that Minnith isn't associated with the Quincy company at all? That's what our evidence points to. Oh goodness me, I didn't expect you to say something so outlandish. How about I show you my business card and employee ID? Those articles could easily be forged. Regardless, we have evidence that would supersede either of those. We found it in the Quincy company informational brochure. An informational brochure? Oh yeah, the one in Mademoiselle's room. We recorded the main points in the detective notebook. The brochure comes directly from the Quincy company's main office, so there's no doubt about its authenticity. What's more, there's a clear discrepancy between its content and what you told us yesterday. What I told you? That's right. Something you mentioned made it clear to us that you aren't the executive you claim to be. His dislike of sweets. Allow me to quote a statement you made yesterday. Despite working with the company, I've never been one for sweets. Do you deny this fact? Lloyd, how exactly is that relevant? That's right, I don't care for sweets. What of it? Are you trying to say that someone who dislikes sweets couldn't possibly work for a confectionery company? A confectionery company in general, maybe, but not this one in particular. What are you on about? Who do you work for? The confectionery police department? This is what was written in the brochure. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives, who, after many meetings, decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Isn't that curious? What is that? Wait! It doesn't make sense that somebody like Minnith, who dislikes sweets, will be hired by a company like Quincy, not with a tradition like that. Wouldn't you agree? That's not... No, I mean, I never said I hated sweets. That's not going to work for us. You admitted to not liking them in this very conversation. How stupid do you think we are? So that raises the question, why would you lie about being an executive at Quincy company? It's simple, you intended to gain Derek's trust before ripping him off. This is the only deduction I can make based on the evidence. As for the confectioner seeking to make use of our market's honey, the Quincy company was merely the name with weight on it, one that Minnith threw around as a show of credibility. Minnith, what is the meaning of this? You tricked me? Derek, don't allow yourself to be deceived by these scoundrels. What did you just call us? You're the scoundrel, sir! I mean, think about it for a second. Let's say, for an argument's sake, that I did come to our Morga village for the purpose of founding a fragile honey company. If, that being the case, I had an ulterior motive in deceiving my very good new friend Derek, then what was it? Why would I go to such ridiculous lengths? If you have no proof to back your claims, then you have no right to call me a fraud. You should arrest yourself for slaying. We do bear the burden of proof as well as providing a viable motive. As far as motive goes, I think I have a pretty good idea. What? Are you sure, Lloyd? I better even start untangling everything that's going on here. Don't worry, I've got this. The person who pointed us in the right direction today also went to retrieve the final piece of evidence we need. The last piece of the puzzle that will oust Minnith once and for all. Quit with the mumbling. If you have something to say, then out with it. With pleasure. You went to all these lengths to deceive this village with one goal in mind. Seizing land right, monopolizing honey cell. Your true objective here is obtaining the land rights to our Morga village itself. What? A trader we know named Harold Hayward gave us some information about you. Immediately after arriving in Crossbell, you, Minnith, started looking into land prices throughout the state. If you were employed by the Quincy company in search of new business venture, this would make no sense. So why do it? I can only think of one possibility. Seizing land was your aim from the very start. It was? Of all the outrageous schemes. There's more to it. Our Morga village is surrounded by scenic beauty, making it a high value location. Suppose the deeds were sold to a third party as a prime real estate for a villa resort. How much mira do you think they would go for? Land like this, I would estimate somewhere in tens of millions of mira. That said, I don't think the villagers would ever agree to such arrangement. Exactly. That's what made this whole fragile ruse, painstaking as it was, a necessity. Now, if we assume your motive was to obtain the land itself, your actions become that much clearer. First, you obtain the rights of the Lotus Fields, the farmlands, and the village's private property. Then, under the pretext of returning to your company's main office, you vanish from Crossbell entirely. Finally, you sell the deeds on the black market and pocket the hefty sum of the mira they're worth. That, Minnith, has been your plan the entire time. Minnith, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. Lloyd! Is that? Thank goodness, it looks like we made it in time. Derek. Father, Mr. Hayward. Aren't you from Mr. Grimwood's office? I'm his assistant, Pete. He would have come himself, but he had to get back to drafting the Constitution. Did you come here with the evidence? That we did. Ian said this would prove to be useful insurance. You're all going to want to take a look at this. It was of a man who looked like a merchant with the same face as Minnith's. The man in this picture is... Why do you have this? A reporter Mr. Grimwood knew in the Empire gave this to him a long time ago. However, the name on this photo isn't Minnith, it's Rittner. Rittner, I feel like we heard that name recently. Ah, I remember. It's the name of the man who stole the Erebonian Baron's land, the one Mr. Grimwood told us about. Oh yeah, that dude. That's right, I asked Ian about it again and he said there's no mistaking it. Well, this is a plot twist I wasn't expecting. Lloyd, why don't you do Minnith the honors? Tell him the only thing this photo could mean. You're a scam. The reason the man before us, Minnith, and the man in the photo written look identical is they're the same person. Minnith and Rittner are one and the same. That's the only explanation. And it's because they're the same person that their MOs are such a close match. Mr. Grimwood came to the same conclusion. This man must have swindling down to an exact orbital size. You're a crook, Minnith. As such, you'll be charged with attempted fraud. This is of course on top of the fraud you previously committed in Erebonia. I can only guess how many skeletons we'll find in your closet when we get done with you. I would very much like to hear all of the details in the department's interrogation room. You, damn you, I am a professional. My work must be flawless. You meddlesome brats. Don't get too full of yourself just yet. You may have won this time, but I won't be apprehended so easily. What? Come, my lovely beast. Oh my goodness, how many did... What? Monsters. They appear to be well trained too. These cougars don't freaking tell me. No. Derek. You've told her it's too dangerous. Do you have any idea what you're doing? I know precisely what I'm doing, hence why I'm doing it. Oh, and don't think for even a second about trying to fight me. That is, unless you don't value the lives of Derek and the villagers. Now step aside if you would. Wait, what? Very well. But we shall never meet again. Wait, what? Did we just lost? Derek. Damn it, we cannot just let him escape. After him. No! No. I can't thank you all enough for what you've done today. It is no exaggeration to say that you saved the village from the clutches of that con man, though he still got away in the end. What about the contract? Yes, but now the department knows to keep a lookout for him. It should only be a matter of time before he's caught. Derek, I made a great mistake and I put everyone through so much trouble just so they could fix it. I let that man rope me into his scheme and it nearly cost us all of our livelihoods. Don't be so hard on yourself, you're not the one who's guilty. Wrong, it's my fault completely, no two ways about it. I was so desperate to fix and reform Armorica that I ignored my father and almost drove it into the ground instead. I have no right to become the next village chief. That is where you're wrong. Father, I've been so stuck on the old ways that I never tried to hear your proposals for what they are. I've known the village will go under if we maintain our current course, and yet I've done nothing. It is my inaction that drove you to do this. Thus, I must bear a large share of the responsibility for letting it happen. That's very admirable, Chief Tolta. Thanks to this crisis, I finally realized where I went wrong. The welfare of this village cannot hinge entirely on the ideology of a single stubborn old man. So instead, Derek, I would ask that you provide me with your input as well. We will each contribute our ideas and discuss them with the villagers. That is the only way we can ensure the future of Armorica. You're right. I'm so sorry, Father. From here on out, I'm going to dedicate myself for the betterment of the village. I'm happy the two of you were able to reconcile. Same. Makes almost losing your whole village to some crook worth it, wouldn't you say? Put a sock in it, Wazy. Learn how to read a room. I'm really sorry about him. I swear we tried everything. At any rate, we owe you all an enormous debt, so allow me to express my thanks once more. I also owe my gratitude to Mr. Grimwood. It's a shame he couldn't be here. I'll pass your thanks on Mr. Grimwood and let him know what happened. Even if I only play my role, I'm glad I could be of assistance. I look forward to our continued partnership, Chief Tolta. Same to you, Harold. If you could, keep a lookout for Minnith, just in case he returns. And of course, you can always contact the SSS if you ever need our assistance. Hopefully it will never be for anything related to this ordeal again. We'll be sure to keep you in mind. Oh wow, that was one long quest. But we did it. We did all the requests that we have on day 2. I don't think there's any more secret requests than the one that we already did. So when we come back, we're gonna make ourselves to the Doll Studio. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. Until next time, bye.